Good morning. We're coming to you live from downtown Dallas. Thanks for waking up with us on this downright cold Saturday morning. Today is February 13th. I'm Cleo Green. We are continuing our weather coverage on our special digital show right now. So if you're following us, we're live. Go ahead and send your comments. Kyle, I honestly thought that this weather event would happen like Sunday night, but it's starting right now, honestly.
Yeah, and that's why we have that winter storm warning in place at the moment, because there was a little freezing drizzle last night into this morning that did create some problems on the area roadways and still likely causing problems on the area roadways because it's well below freezing. Any of that glaze that we had last night into this morning still out there. Now, the more significant wintry weather will arrive starting tonight through the day tomorrow, and especially tomorrow night and into Monday. That's when we're going to see those rounds of heavy snow. So buckle up, we'll get through it, and then the extreme cold will be on the way after that, as if it's not cold enough outside at the moment. So I got a lot to talk about. We're going to get through all of it. We're going to talk about the timing, so just keep on watching, and we're going to get through it right now, basically. So what we're dealing with is that winter storm watch in place. This runs now through Monday, and then the significant winter weather will start to arrive through the rest of the weekend. So here we go. Today's a little freezing drizzle, a little flurry action, but not much going to happen today. But any amount of freezing drizzle could cause significant issues like we saw last night into this morning. So be aware of that. Then tonight, a wintry mix starts to develop. We could see some light amounts of ice and snow. That'll continue into the day tomorrow before that transitions to mainly snow tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. That snow will start to accumulate. And then tomorrow evening and into tomorrow night, that's when we could see that moderate to heavy snow, and those higher accumulations are possible. That's when we could see those 3 to 6 inch snowfall totals tomorrow evening and into tomorrow night. It's not just us dealing with that wintry weather. Look at the entire state of Texas. Winter storm watches down to Houston, all the way down to the Rio Grande Valley, across western Texas. The entire state of Oklahoma is under a winter storm warning. Most of Arkansas, parts of Louisiana, winter storm warnings, advisories for the mountainous areas out to the west. An ice storm warning for parts of Virginia. This system is going to create a mess, not only for us, but across the entire country. Cold air will continue to spill down into North Texas. That Canadian air, that Arctic air, Siberian air, whatever you want to call it, it is going to continue to head our way, and this is only the beginning of the cold. It will get colder as we head into next week. I've been watching this shot all morning long. This is the I-30 bridge as it heads over the Trinity River there. Luckily, traffic moving along okay, and for the most part, everybody's been taking it slow and taking it easy, and that's good to see because, like I mentioned, there is that glaze of ice out there on those area roadways. And it's not just the bridges and overpasses. That freezing drizzle did accumulate basically on most area roads. That includes your sidewalks, that includes your streets, your city streets, that includes your neighborhood streets. There's a thin glaze of ice on all of those. So getting out of your neighborhood, definitely going to be slick. It's not just the bridges and overpasses, so avoid travel if possible. If you do have to be out and about, take it slow and use extreme caution today. Today's really kind of your last day to really make preparations for the next several days. So I know some of you may need to get out and do that, but today's not a perfect day by any means, so please use caution if you do have to be out and about today. It will obviously stay cold. Your temperature is going to be below freezing all day long. Your wind chills are going to stay in the teens all day long as well, and that's why any glaze that's out there, it may evaporate a little bit because we do have some dry air in place, but it's not going to melt because of just how cold those temperatures are going to be throughout the day today. So bundle up, whatever you got going on if you do have to head out the door. Now, let's talk about what's going to happen tonight, into tomorrow, and into Monday. Today, as I mentioned, cloudy, it's cold, maybe a flurry, maybe a little freezing drizzle here or there, but not much, especially when you compare it to tomorrow and into tomorrow night. There's 5 o'clock this evening, there's 7 o'clock this evening, not a whole lot happening. So slick roadways will continue with some patchy freezing drizzle, some flurries here or there. Pretty quiet compared to the next couple of days. Overnight tonight, we get a round of kind of wintry mix that starts to move into North Texas. Snow starts to happen across western areas. By tomorrow morning, it kind of transitioned to just snow from DFW to the west and to the north. That wintry mix may continue for eastern North Texas. Tomorrow morning, we see snow out there. Now, this is likely not a heavy round of snow, but it will likely accumulate for you. A wintry mix transitioning to snow overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning. Maybe up to 2 inches of snow possible in some places. Snow mainly across western areas, so travel definitely going to be impacted overnight tonight and into tomorrow, even more so than what it is out there right now. Then our heavier round of snow arrives tomorrow evening and into tomorrow night. Here's 5 o'clock tomorrow evening. This kind of band of heavier to moderate snow starts to move in 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. Here's 10. Moderate to heavy snow falling anywhere across western to southern North Texas, but DFW already saw that kind of one round move through. Then another round moves through during the late night hours. Here's midnight tomorrow night and into Monday morning. By daybreak Monday, all of this is off to the east. That's good news, but the extreme cold will be behind it. And because we're going to stay well below freezing, none of this is going to melt. So your Monday morning definitely going to be hazardous when it comes to travel. As far as those totals are concerned, when we're looking back at this event sometime on Monday, 6+ inches of snow possible for northwestern locations, Gainesville, Decatur, Graham, Bowie, Nacona. You could see 6+ inches of snow. For the rest of North Texas, it's anywhere from 3 to 6 inches. I know that's quite the range, but that is what's going to happen. This isn't an event, I think, where, Dallas sees nothing and Stephenville sees 6 inches. No, I think pretty much everybody will be in that 3 to 6 inch window. So some of you will see just 3 inches, just 3 inches. Obviously, that's significant snow for North Texas, but some of you could see upwards of 6 inches. So everybody sees snow with this event, and it's likely not our only winter weather event for the week ahead. Then we got to deal with the cold, as if that wasn't bad enough. 8 degrees Monday morning. 2 degrees is my forecasted low Tuesday morning. Those wind chills easily well below 0 on those days. Here's your Monday morning lows. Single digits for practically everybody except for far eastern and southeastern areas. Wind chills Monday morning well below 0, probably -10 to -20 first thing Monday morning, and not much improvement during the day on Monday either. Your highs on Monday likely only in the teens, low teens at that. And then Tuesday morning with that fresh coating of snow everywhere, your temperatures will be easily down in the single digits, and I think northwestern locations could drop down to below 0 for your actual temperature. You see -2 in Decatur, -2 Mineral Wells, -5 in Bowie. This is dangerous cold, absolutely. This is why we've been telling you need to protect your plumbing with this sort of situation, because this will cause freezing pipes if they are exposed. Absolutely, drip your faucets in the house because of what's going to happen Monday and into Tuesday. Your wind chills Tuesday morning, the wind may not be as strong, but any sort of breeze out there will make that wind chill easily below 0 during your Tuesday morning as well. Now let's finally get to that 10-day forecast. As if that wasn't bad enough, we have another round of wintry weather likely on Wednesday, and that round could bring us just as much snow as this one that's going to happen tomorrow and into Monday. And like I mentioned, none of that's going to melt between now and then, so we're just going to add on top of what has already fallen, and then it may be late week before any of that really starts to melt, because by Friday, that's finally when we warm back up above freezing, but only just barely at that. 35 for your high Friday. By the way, we've been at or below freezing since 5 o'clock on Tuesday evening, like this past Tuesday. So by this upcoming Tuesday, that's 7 days below freezing. And then it would be 8 Wednesday, 9 Thursday, 10 Friday, which would be the second longest streak of at or below freezing temperatures at DFW Airport. 1983. The record for that, 11 days. If you were around in 1983, you definitely remember that event. So we could I think we'll easily end up second place on that list. As far as the coldest temperatures we've seen, it was -1 on December 23rd back in 1989. So I don't have us that cold, but if we do drop below 0, it'll be the coldest, for sure the coldest temperatures since then. But if we do drop below 0 and we drop -1, -2, if it happens to drop to -2, Cleo, I can't even, I'm actually
unreal.
even saying these words.
Kyle.
It's insane. But if we do drop that cold, it would be the coldest we've seen since, I think, 1947.
Wow.
And by the way, the coldest temperature ever recorded in the DFW area, -8, back in 1899. Don't think we'll be that cold, but we could make a run at 0 by Tuesday morning. So that's what we're going to be dealing with. As I mentioned, today, kind of your last day to really make preparations for that. Today's not a perfect day either. You absolutely have to watch out for those slick spots on the roadways, slick roadways, freezing drizzle, the glaze that is out there. But today's conditions going to be better than what they're going to be tomorrow, and especially in tomorrow night and Monday. So if you have to be out and about, today's the better of the 2 days to do it, but I'm not encouraging you to do that at all. thankfully there is a light at the end of the tunnel of all this, but it's a long way away. It's next weekend and early next week. We get back into the 40s, we get back into the 50s, and maybe even 60s by next Monday.
Wow. And
this will be a memory, but maybe not a distant memory. I think this will be a week that we will be talking about and remembering for quite some time.
Kyle, I'm on our Facebook page right now, and we've got more than 5,000 people that are watching right now, with a lot of comments. A lot of people kind of asking what you just kind of covered about the fact that, hey, you know, that last snowstorm that we saw, not everyone saw snow, but people want to know, you know, is everyone going to get a chance to see some type of snow event this time around?
This one, I think you see that 100% coverage there Sunday night into Monday, and I think that means 100% accumulation across the area as well. I think pretty much all of North Texas has a good chance of seeing anywhere from 3 to 6 inches of snow. There will be some places that maybe end up a little higher than that. There may be a few places that ended up a little bit lower than that, but I think a very good chance that pretty much everybody sees those 3 to 6 inch totals across the area. This isn't a situation where, like I was saying, Dallas sees nothing, Fort Worth sees 2 or 3 inches. No, I think it'll be a widespread snow event for us, and because temperatures are so cold, none of it's going to melt. It's just going to all stick around, and it will stick to the roads, and it will stick to everything. What a thing.
What a thing. Kyle, we're going to come back to you. We've got some stories to cover as well, just in case you weren't up with us here on Daybreak. We've got some breaking news to cover this morning. A Dallas police officer was killed on the job overnight, hit by a car while on the scene of an accident. We're going to get right to our Ariel Placencia live at DPD headquarters this morning. Ariel, what do you know so far?
Yeah, Cleo, this is just a heartbreaking story to report on. And I just want to take this time to remind everybody, if you have to be out and about today and you see maybe police officers responding to an accident, first responders at a scene, or maybe even crews working to clean those roads, please give them even more space than you think that they might need, because the roads, as Kyle was talking about, are not doing great out here, just getting more slippery and icy as the time goes on. Now back to the case that we're talking about this morning. So sources tell us this was a young police officer in the Northeast Patrol Division who was married. Now, this crash happened earlier this morning, so details at this point are still pretty limited, but here's what we know so far about the incident itself. So a DPD officer was working an accident scene in the northbound lanes of North Central Expressway at Walnut Hill Lane around 1:45 this morning. He was standing outside of his marked patrol vehicle with his emergency lights on, police said. That's when he was hit by a car driving at a high rate of speed, according to DPD. The officer was taken to Baylor Medical Center, where sadly he later died. Now, just a couple of hours ago, the police chief posting the following video on Twitter, calling it a small sign of respect and admiration for a fallen brother and his family.
All officers, attend to present on.
The chief thanking fire, EMS, and Baylor Medical Center for their efforts this morning, ending, quote, "Rest easy, hero. We'll take it from here." Now, the mayor also releasing a statement this morning saying, "I am praying today for his family, friends, and colleagues. I know our city will provide them with love and support as we seek justice." Now, here's what we know about the driver who hit the officer. He is 32 years old and was uninjured. Police said he was intoxicated and was taken into custody with charges pending. Now, we have reached out to the Dallas Police Department, of course, to offer our thoughts and prayers to them as well as this officer's family. We've also asked if that initial accident that the officer was responding to was weather-related. And once we hear back and once we get more information, we'll, of course, let you know. Cleo?
Ariel, thank you. And just a reminder, we may see several more accidents on the road during this winter event. If you see a first responder or TxDOT vehicle, please take it easy and get into the other lane, away from that first responder, away from that TxDOT vehicle. Governor Greg Abbott issued a disaster declaration. The order comes as the National Weather Service issued winter storm warnings or watches for most of the state. The freezing weather is expected to last through the weekend into Monday evening, as Kyle had said. And as you can see here, we did spot a sand truck out early this morning treating some of those roads. Everyone, please, once again, drive with some caution out there. Take it easy. It is very slippery out there. There is patches of black ice. The safest thing you can do this weekend is to just stay off the road if you can. But let's face it, some folks, they really won't have that choice. They have to drive. They have to make their way to appointments or their job. Now, if that's the case, our Jay Wallace has some great tips on how to do so safely.
The simplest step to take is checking the temperature. If it is below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, that means it is freezing outside, meaning certain precipitation could impact the roads. The first type you might see is snow, which can become more dangerous as more cars drive through it, making it more slick. You'll want to make sure and keep your speed slow and steady, as applying extra gas or stopping at an angle could become dangerous. Next is sleet, which is when snow melts and refreezes as sleet just before hitting the ground. You'll want to give yourself more time if you need to stop or turn. Lastly, black ice. The reason this one's a problem is it's not really black and it doesn't really look like ice. It's practically invisible when it's on the road, which is why most cars don't know about it until they're already on it. Now, black ice tends to form in places without a lot of sunshine and places that aren't driven on that often. If you do find yourself on black ice, first thing to do is remain calm. There's not much you can do or want to do when you're on black ice, especially hitting the brakes. If you do feel the back of your car starting to turn, grab your wheel and turn it in that same direction. Now, in terms of what types of roads you should avoid or be cautious on, that would be elevated roadways, such as ramps or bridges, as these are the first to freeze over during cold weather. And no matter what's on the road or where you are, you should always drive slower and increase your distance from the car in front of you. If you follow these tips, you'll make the roadway a safer place for yourself and others this upcoming week. In Dallas, I'm Jay Wallace.
And Tracy, if you're watching us live here on Facebook, I saw that you were going to drive to Paris. I am so glad that you decided not to. Stick with us here, you guys. With these low temps, everyone will be turning up the heat. We talk with ERCOT, the agency that operates the state's electric grid, and they're expecting one of the highest usages of power in decades, with peak demand happening on Monday. Now, these may seem like everyday tips, but it's so important to make sure that you're prepared in case the power goes out in these temperatures. Please have some extra blankets on hand. Make sure you know where your flashlights are and you have working batteries. Do not use your stove or your oven as a heating source, and please be extra careful if you light candles. Case in point here, look closely. The McKinney Fire Department sent us this photo of a fire that started by a candle in an apartment. A single fire sprinkler was able to put it out. It turns out the resident had lit several candles and then fell asleep. No one was hurt. Here's some extra safety tips from the National Fire Protection Association. Please keep those candles at least 12 inches from anything that can burn. Use candle holders that are sturdy and won't tip over easily. Blow out all candles when you leave the room or go to bed, and never leave a child alone in a room with a burning candle. You also have to be extra careful when you're using those space heaters. Here's some things to look out for. If you're using a portable space heater, make sure you never leave it unattended, and remember to turn it off when you leave the room or go to sleep. Always keep the space heater at least 3 feet away from anything that can catch fire, and place them away from busy areas of your home like doorways. All right, and we're also talking about space heater maintenance. You're going to make sure that you want to make sure that there's no dust or dirt accumulation. Your heater should also be serviced properly, and you should have a seal that tells you if it's been certified or tested. And the flame you see, it should be blue. If it's orange or red, do not use it. A couple more warnings here. Never use your stove or your oven to heat your home. And with the risk of home fires spiking this time of the year, everyone should have working smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. Of course, we're concerned about those who have no roof over their head during this bitter cold. The city of Dallas has opened up the Kay Bailey Hutchinson Convention Center to help those with no shelter during this time. Now, they were expecting to house as many as 300 people overnight. The city of Fort Worth activated their cold weather overflow shelter operations this week as well, and they're using 3 separate sites if necessary. So if you haven't already, please go ahead and download the WFAA weather app. We're going to be bringing you weather updates all week, guys. We have our team and crews ready to go, ready to serve you and let you know what's going on in your neck of the woods. So please go ahead and download that app. It is free. Subscribe, leave us a comment. It is going to be quite a week, quite a historic weather week here. So please stay tuned with WFAA, and thank you so much for joining us here on our live digital show.